ladies, welcome back. I'm Aurelia, the founder of Mademoiselle Diaries. We're here on a mission to help you find your inner Mademoiselle for you to become your most beautiful, feminine, and elegant self. Today, we're talking about a topic that is so underrated when it comes to embracing your femininity. And I don't see a lot of people actually speak on this. And I feel like it's one of the most important things to actually develop. It's one of the most important things to truly embrace, and that is the power of stillness. We live in a world of hyper consumerism. We're constantly consuming things left and right. Think about it, perhaps you're going on a walk and you're listening to a podcast. We're getting ready, there's music in the background. We're watching YouTube videos while eating at the same time, or we're scrolling through TikToks and Reels while watching a movie. This is such a common experience. We're so distracted to the point that now watching a movie with no distractions seems like a productive thing to do. And that is just crazy to think about because in the past, watching a movie was just something to distract yourself, not necessarily like the productive thing to do. And I love movies. I watch movies all the time. Nothing against movies, but I think it says a lot about where we are in society if we now consider that, even watching a movie with no distractions is considered productive. And I think the scary part is that we think that this is normal and this is a normal way of being, that it is actually good to do two things at once. It's great for our productivity. We're optimizing things. We can get a workout in while listening to a podcast. And I'm not trying to say like if you do two things at once that it's evil and that you shouldn't be doing this at all. I'm just saying that it should not be the default way of you navigating your life. More and more, we just operate and go about our life doing two to three things at once all the time. Let's get one thing straight first. Multitasking is a myth. I remember my teacher showing this documentary about multitasking, that your brain is just not able to focus on two to three things at once, at least not focus fully on those two tasks fully. Like your brain will just go left and right. It will switch between tasks and you're not actually pouring your ultimate focus into one thing. So you end up spending, more time on things. You can simply just focus on a given task at a time. You will be more productive that way. And that's why I think there's a lot of tools these days that come up, like Pomodoro techniques, which I love. You put a timer for 25 minutes and you focus on a task at a time, take a 5-minute break. Just because, especially today, like let's say you're starting a task, you starting to watch, I don't know, a course, and suddenly you get a text, a notification. Within 2, 3 minutes, you'll check the notification, you'll check the text, and you're listening to the course while texting at the same time. And that's why I love the idea of just putting timers and just setting aside time to simply focus. The rarest luxury today is just focus and being able to just sit into one task at a time, like monotasking. That is such a valuable skill. Even in the business world or self-help industry, a lot of people say to multitask, to do work while you're at the gym, do all of these tasks together. But since when do we measure our humanity through productivity? If we do that, then what's the point? Robots and ChatGPT and AI are more productive than us. They can literally write a whole script in seconds. Like, why are we measuring our worth, our humanity through productivity? It should not be the ultimate goal. That is not the goal of living. It's such a robotic way to view humanity, and sometimes it scares me a little bit, to be honest, because we're constantly so fixated on productivity, but we constantly see ourselves that way. Whether you're trying to embrace your femininity, your creativity, or simply just being a human being, you will miss out. This constant hustle, this constant multitasking will suffocate the qualities that truly make us feel alive, that makes us different than robots. We leave no room for stillness, for truly experiencing life. Our minds are constantly wandering into different parts of the world. We're never truly present. When you think about it, like the only moment that you have is this present moment. And I don't want to be in my deathbed and suddenly I realize like, oh, I don't really remember much of my life experience because I've just been all over the place at every single moment. Like that thought just scares me. And I feel like it should scare you too. Like this should not be our default at all, ladies. I'm calling all of you ladies to break this cycle of overstimulation. And this topic is not even just about femininity, but just ultimately reclaiming our humanity in 2025. It is our turn to just reclaim the present moment, moment for stillness. It is crucial. It is crucial. A lot of people, and including myself, will talk about ways to embrace your femininity, but without this, without stillness, there is no point. You will not go far at all. If you're not embracing stillness, if you're not inviting silence into your life, you cannot embrace femininity because that is a way of being. To truly experience a way of being, you need to be present. You need to be savoring all of the senses. You need to be fully present in the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to be so intentional about cultivating stillness. And here are just my ways, my personal ways. There are 8 ways that I will share with you, ladies, today of how I actually create that intentional space for my femininity to breathe so I don't suffocate it. So I actually am able to just live like a normal human being, not like a robotic human, always doing millions of things at once. Number one is to carve out a daily ritual distraction free. So for me, I personally wake up and I have this 1 hour, first hour of my day that I am just spending time with God, with my creator. This time is so crucial. It's almost like a ritual. I make my black coffee and then I come upstairs to this room and I put perhaps like some worship piano before, and then I start just reading the word. I pray to God and I thank the Lord for blessing me with a new day. I pray for people. Like, generally, ladies, this is a habit that I have developed. I think it's been almost 2 years now. I do this all the time. And when I don't spend this 1 hour of my day, when something comes up and I can't have this time, like my day is just not okay. Like my dependence on God is just crazy. Like I just need that time to constantly, for God to cleanse my soul, for God to purify me and to change my thoughts on certain things, because every single day we're distracted with noise. Every single day we're constantly seeing things and we don't even realize it. That's the crazy thing. We're always on social media and we see all these people doing different things, and ultimately it will impact your desires subconsciously. It will feed into you and now you will want a million things at once. We cannot live like this, and that's why it's so crucial to have just one time, one moment during the day that you reconnect with God. Like you truly spend 1 hour. Like 1 hour is nothing. To be honest, if I could spend 20 hours a day, 24 hours a day, just talking to God, that would be ideal. But there's so many things to do today in these days. But truly, just 1 hour spend and dedicate it to Him. Oh man, it will do you wonders. And actually, I remember before I came into the faith, like I always had this habit. It has been almost 10 years that I have a habit of just reading, or with my black coffee. It's just like me, black coffee, and some type of reading or journaling. It has always been there for the past 10 years almost. And I swear this is the one habit that truly grounds me. I don't talk about it. I haven't talked about it at all, but it is something that truly grounds me. And I feel like I'm able to be calm in certain situations, no matter how crazy it can be, because I can rely on this one habit. Like every single day, every single night, I'm so excited to wake up the next morning because I know this ritual is waiting for me. And no matter the circumstances in my life, I know that, okay, at least I have this one ritual that stays the same. Like I can always rely on this. So I highly recommend you ladies to have this one ritual. Ideally, spend your time connecting with God. Like truly don't miss out on your time with God, because I swear it's just the best. Like I'm craving it right now. Like I'm craving the time that I will spend tomorrow morning with God. It's just the best. Your ritual might look a little bit different. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's breathing exercises, whatever it is, but truly have that one ritual in a day that you keep so sacred. Like nobody can enter that space. No phone, no technology, nothing. Just you, your creator, your imagination, your thoughts. Have that sacred space. A second is kind of related to my first point, and that is to practice true presence. a meditation almost. I think the word mindfulness and meditation gets thrown around everywhere, almost like a buzzword. But if we just return to the core meaning, it's simply being present, being attentive to the present moment, to be attentive to all of your senses, to, breathe. I think a lot of us throughout the day, if you don't realize, like, we're not breathing properly. We're like, many times where I have to catch myself. I haven't breathed like properly in a while. Breath has an enormous impact in your body, in how you navigate life. That's a crazy thing that I've learned a few years ago. How even breathing properly, like through your nose and out with your mouth, or just having your mouth closed, like it changes the shape of your face. Okay, I'm going a little bit tangent, but just saying, like, breathing and just being attentive to all of your senses is so important, and we kind of just forget about breathing sometimes, and just being and soaking in all of our senses. It's a beautiful thing. Some Christians would probably say that meditation and mindfulness, it's so new age, don't engage in those activities. No, like, let's return to the core meaning of meditation. It is simply being in the present moment and truly honoring it, truly honoring how, God really gifted us this present moment. Is the only moment that we truly have. It's the present moment. And meditation is just a way to honor that moment. Third tip is to schedule in free tech hours within your day. So, yes, I talked about the ritual, like the morning ritual, but I've incorporated this as well a few weeks ago, where on my lunch breaks, I try to not look at any technology, no phones. Sometimes, it's still a new habit I'm still picking up, so I don't do this every day, but I notice that when I do this, when I'm so intentional, like, okay, for lunch break, no phones, like no laptop, I'm closing off work just for an hour or two, and it feels amazing. Maybe at first you will be bored, like, what am I supposed to do? But maybe you'll be more encouraged to speak with other people around you, or I don't know, just sit in your thoughts, or just go outside, take a walk. Like, it really encourages you to think creatively and how to spend your time more wisely. And when I do this, my lunch breaks feel just so long. Like, it just feel like, wow, I had such a long day today. And trust me, in the end, you will truly love and crave this moment of your day. It's an amazing way to just detach a little bit. I think a lot of us, we're kind of always connected to technology here and there all throughout the day. And then it becomes, weeks, months, years, and who knows how many hours and days and years that we lose just by being on our phones, like here and there, those little check-ins that, you check your phone for like 5 minutes and you put it back, like it adds up, it accumulates, and it also does something to your brain that it makes you harder to focus on the next task. Fourthly, ditch the AirPods when you can. You need to sometimes just leave the AirPods at home. And I remember when I used to work at my old job, I used to have long commutes, and I needed AirPods. Like, I needed some sort of distraction. Even if I'm reading, like, I need music to block things, or I just didn't want to go through my commute, which was an hour, without AirPods. It was just boring. It seemed boring. But I remember one day I actually forgot my AirPods at home, and I realized, like, wow, this is actually nice. I'm noticing more conversations around me, and I feel more open with the world. I'm more likely to engage in conversations with strangers as well. So that would not happen, of course, if I'm having my AirPods, because I would be completely blocked off in my own world. And sometimes I think, we just listen too much to music. And I don't think we're supposed to be listening to music constantly. If you think about it, even in the past, like, people had to go to the record store, they needed to go to places to listen to music, or it wasn't just as available yet 24 hours a day. It was not this available. We have to know that this is not our way of being. Like, this is not a normal thing to constantly have sound in the background. Leave the AirPods when you're going on a walk. Just try it once. You can do it. You'll probably just notice that, eventually just life becomes more magical because you make it more magical. You don't rely on these musics and all these heightened senses to make life more magical. Like, you simply just tune out all the noise. You're there in the present moment. You take a walk, and suddenly you see the trees, they're becoming more green, and you're like, wow, there's actually already so much beauty and so much magic in the mundane. And we forget that we don't need to heighten every experience that we have with music. My ladies who love listening to podcasts, you'd be surprised by the amount of things that you will learn when you just ditch the AirPods and you take a walk outside. You will learn so much about your thoughts, about nature, about God's whispers. You will miss out on God's whispers and hearing your own thoughts when you're constantly blocking it out with podcasts and music. Next advice is to curate your consumption. So this is for my ladies who love YouTube and who love podcasts, because I love long form content. I listen a lot to a lot of long form content. And I realized like sometimes I would get in rabbit holes where I would be watching too many videos, like too many videos for too many hours, even if it was educational. What I actually did is to simply pick 2 to 3 creators to focus on each week. So say in a certain week, I want to learn more about branding. So I'll pick 2 to 3 creators, who are great at that topic, and I'll dive deep into their content. It has been helpful so far. I hope that I continue this habit. My sixth advice would be to make meals a free tech ritual. And it kind of comes back to my third point. So this is going hand in hand, but I wanted to make a specific point on meals because I think there's something special about eating and just enjoying and savoring your meal. And it's almost linking back to etiquette, honestly. And I can't believe, that we have to say this, especially in 2025. Like, remove the technology out of your dining table. It has no place there. You're there to truly savor your meal. And when I do this, because I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos while eating, or I would scroll on my phone, whatever. But when I really made that decision to just, okay, let's just focus on eating, ladies, I eat so much slower. And at the end of my meals, I generally feel full. I feel well nourished. I don't feel peckish during the day at all. So with time, maybe you'll probably be bored eating alone all the time. And I think that's why, like, we're not meant to be eating alone. We're meant to be sharing a meal with other people. And it really encouraged me to wait for my sisters, wait for my family, wait, like have meals with other friends, so that I don't have to constantly eat alone. And this actually brings me to my next point, which is to prioritize real connection. Most of us, we're not as busy as we think. Just simply look at your screen time. You're not as busy as you think you are. You can squeeze in a little bit of time, few days in a week, to socialize. Socializing is so important. Remember, we're social beings, we're social creatures. We thrive when we're around other people, and we get to learn more about ourselves when we are relating to the other. Make time for family and friend gatherings. I schedule this in my week like it's a meeting, like it's an important event. Social time is so important, and I schedule it like this because I'm more of an introvert, and I know myself. I feel more comfortable some alone a lot of the times. So I really have to get out of my comfort zone. Like, okay, you are getting out of your house a few times in a week. I think once every 2, 3 days is good for me. It's a good number. And it genuinely really fuels me, even though I'm an introvert. Lastly, embrace boredom as a catalyst. I remember when I was 11 years old, we were reading this book in class, and the author actually came in, and the students were asking him questions. And one of the students asked him, like, what inspired you to write? Where'd you get all the inspiration from? And he simply said, boredom. I was bored a lot when I was a child. I didn't have a lot of toys. My parents were a little bit strict. It was just me, my imagination. That answer stuck with me even a decade plus later. Wow, boredom is actually such a valuable thing. And we don't allow for boredom to happen anymore. We don't allow for boredom to come in. But boredom is where the magic truly happens, is when the new ideas, the new thoughts come in. Boredom is truly a gift. It is where creativity, reflection, and growth are born. You are not allowing your creativity to flourish if you're constantly filling every single moment of your day with tasks, with distractions, with scrolling on your phone, with podcasts, with music. The next time you feel the urge to fill in quiet time, maybe you're waiting for something, you're in a queue, resist the urge to grab your phone, resist the urge to constantly fill your mind with something. Just let your mind wander for a little bit And in the end, you will actually be comfortable with your thoughts. You will actually start to enjoy and just love being with yourself. I really wonder, why are we constantly avoiding ourselves? Like, we are such, like, I love myself. I love hanging out with myself. I love, the thoughts that come up in my head. We live just one life. I want to spend time with me. Like, I want to get to know me. I want to get to know my thoughts. So I don't want, my thoughts to be just full of other people's thoughts. I want my thoughts to be mine, to be uniquely mine. Constant overstimulation doesn't just dull our senses, it disconnects us from ourselves, whether it's your femininity, your creativity, your faith, that unique spark, that unique calling that you have. When you are not allowing stillness in your life, those things can never flourish. You deserve to feel alive, connected, and whole. You deserve to fully experience this weird thing of being a human. It's just a weird thing. Like, what am I doing on this earth at this time? Like, if you think about it, it's just such an interesting experience to be a human being. Like, enjoy it to the maximum. Like, feel all of the discomforts, feel all of these awkward feelings. It's totally normal. Allow these feelings to come up. All right, my beautiful ladies, I hope that this has convicted you one way or another to just put that phone down, put the technology away. Technology put the technology away, remove the distractions, and just be comfortable with yourself. Just allow God to speak through you sometimes. Like, you need to create that space for you to truly thrive in your femininity. All right, beautiful ladies, I'll see you next time. Mwah.